Om Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Namah Paramarishibhyo Namah Paramarishibhyah. Om Namah Paramarishibhyo Namah Paramarishibhyah. नीलातुङ्गस्तनगिरितटे सुप्तमुद्बोध्य कृष्णं पारार्ध्यं स्वं श्रुतिशतशिरसिद्धमध्यापयन्ती स्वोच्छिष्टायां स्रजनिगलितं यावलात्कृत्य भुङ्क्ते गोदा तस्यै नम इदमिदं भूय एवास्तु भूयः कास्यपान्वयसञ्जातं नारायणपदाश्रितं श्रीमन्नारायणं वन्दे यतीश्वरश्रियाजुषम् சிற்றஞ்சிறுகாலே வந்துன்னை சேவித்து உன் பொற்றாமரை அடியே போற்றும் பொருள் கேளாய் பெற்றம்மே துண்ணும் குலத்தில் பிறந்து நீ குற்றேவலங்களைக் கொள்ளாமல் போகாது விற்றபறை கொள்வான் அன்றுகான் கோவிந்தா எற்றைக்கும் ஏழேழ் பிறவிக்கும் உன் தன்னோடுத்தோமே யாவோம் உனக்கே நாம் ஆட்செய்வோம் மத்தை நம் காமங்கள் மாற்றேலோர் எம்பாவாய். So this is the Pasuram for today. Please go ahead.
சிற்றஞ்சிறு காலே வந்துன்னை சேவித்து பொற்றாமரை அடியே போற்றும் பொருள் கேளாய் பெற்றம்மை துண்ணும் குலத்தில் பிறந்து நீ குற்றேவள் எங்களை கொள்ளாமல் போகாது
இற்றை பறை கொள்வான் அன்று காண்போவிந்தா எற்றைக்கும் ஏழு பிறவிக்கும் உந்தன்னோடு உற்றோமேயாவோம் உனக்கே நாமாட்செய்வோம் உற்றோமேயாவோம் உனக்கே நாமாட்செய்வோம் மற்றை நம் காமங்கள் மாற்றேலோரெம் பாவாய். ஆண்டாள் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
ஆண்டாள் திருவடிகளே சரணம். Thank you. So we'll get into today's Pasuram. Sitram Chirugale Vandunnai Sevithu. That before it is too early, Sitram Chirugale Vandu arriving, Unnai Sevithu and serving you. Un Potramare Adiye Potrum Porul Kelai. Un Pontamare Adiye Potrum. That means praising your golden lotus feet. Kelai, right? Please, Porul Kelai, you please hear the reason for this. In other words, what the Gopis are trying to say is finally they have come to Krishna today, and then they are trying to express the actual reason why they have come to Krishna. So far, they have always advertised the reason to be to seek the parai. But today they are trying to express to Krishna very explicitly why they have come to Krishna, right? So they are saying every day, not every day, here, early in the morning we have come here. So before it's too early in the morning, we have come here and to serve you. And also we have been singing the praise of your lotus feet, right? Why are we doing this? Hear the reason for this. So this is the reason why we are doing it, right? They are trying to tell Krishna, Petram Meitrunum Kulatil Pirandu. That Kulatil Pirandu, right? You took birth in the class of cowherds, right? What is that class? It is the class that unnum, that subsists by Petram Meit, by feeding the cattle. That is how that class is basically sustaining, right? That is the class in which you have taken birth, right? They are reminding his purpose. So they have come and they are saying, you please listen why we have come early in the morning and why we are singing your praise is what they are saying, and they are reminding why he has come. Okay. In other words, they are trying to tell Krishna that We have not come to take anything from you. In fact, you have come to take something that belongs to you. That is what they are trying to tell Krishna. நீ குற்றேவலங்களை கொள்ளாமல் போகாது. Now what they are saying is, what we really want is that we want நீ குற்றேவல், we want personal services to you, right? எங்களை, right, by us, whatever we are asking, கொள்ளாமல் போகாது. It is not appropriate for you to decline personal services to you, right? This is what they are saying, right? That's what they really want from him. இற்றை பறைகொள்வான் அன்றுகான் கோவிந்தா. Now what they are saying is, we haven't come to you just to seek the drum from you today, right? Oh Govinda, that is not the reason why we have come, not for taking the drum. Then why have we come? Etraikum ஏழேழ் பிறவிக்கும், forever and ever, for 7 births, உந்தன்னோடு உத்தோமே ஆவோம். We want that eternal relationship with you. Our relationship with you should be inseparable, birth after birth. That is what we want really from you, forever and ever. So explicitly they are expressing here, right? They are not shying away from saying that. So far they have always told, we want parai, we want parai, we want parai. But finally when they have come to Krishna, they are explicitly declaring that all they want is really relationship with him, birth after birth. That is what they are really asking for. Unakke naam aachchevom. And not just relationship with you. It's not like, I have that relationship with Paramatma and then so that I can enjoy in that relationship. Unakke naam aachchevom. All the services that we perform, naam aachchevom, unakke, all those services should be for you. In other words, the relationship that we are looking for is the relationship in which we are fully engaged in service to you. That is really what we want, right? Matrainam kamangal matru. Now what they are saying is, any other desires other than this desire, you please remove from our hearts. This is our vratam. This is what we are asking for. In this way, the gopis are saying, well, the external meaning is, early in the morning, we have come singing the praise of your lotus feet. Do you know why we have come this way? You please listen. We are going to tell you the reason. The real reason is, you have come. It is not we who have come to take something from you. The real reason is, we are your property. Therefore, you have appeared on this earth to take us back to you. Now, therefore, it is up to you. All we are asking is, we have not come for that parai and so on. Don't think that we have also come like everybody else. We have also come for something material from you, and so that once we get that, we can go away. We have come to seek that eternal relationship with you. We want you. So you please take us, right? We want that relationship with you, birth after birth, not just for today, not just for this birth, not just because we got attracted to you in this birth, therefore we want that relationship. Birth after birth, that relationship should be there with you. What kind of relationship? Not a relationship where we keep taking from you and we keep enjoying. It's a relationship where we keep giving you and you enjoy. And you enjoy that relationship with us. That is the kind of relationship we want. If there is any other desire other than this, you please remove those desires from our heart. This is what the gopis are expressing today. Now we will try to understand the details of this Pasuram. Sitram siru kAle means early in the morning, means Brahma Muhurtam, right? It is very interesting, right? Brahma Muhurtam, so early in the morning. In fact, these gopis, even before it was Brahma Muhurtam, they all have come because all night long they couldn't fall asleep. Some of these gopis were so much excited, right, to meet Paramatma that they could not even fall asleep. So they were all constantly gathering, other gopikas, right? And they were all trying to, pretty much the entire night they did that night out, right? So that they could actually gather all the gopikas and then they could actually start for Krishna's place. So, and we can only imagine, it's not like a few gopikas here. Andal, of course, she's trying to, show the different characteristics of different Bhagavatas and so on. And 10 such characteristics are represented in 10 Pasurams. But that doesn't mean that Bhagavatas are only 10 in number and there are only 10 characteristics. Just like Bhagavan has infinite qualities, Bhagavatas also have infinite qualities. So there are infinite attributes. In fact, the Ayur body is filled with 5 lakh gopikas. So we can only imagine that. Of course, this is all her imagination. Andal, she's imagining in that mood of taking shelter of gopis and so on. So we can imagine that literally in her imagination, they have gone to every gopika's house and they have gathered every gopika with them, and they have gone to Krishna, right? So many gopikas have come finally to Krishna, right? Now what they are saying, so that means early in the morning they took an austerity for the sake of Krishna, without considering the fact that it was so cold outside, without considering the fact that they were only kids. It's not like they were adults and so on, right? Without considering the fact that they didn't wear any protective gear or anything, they just went out for the sake of Krishna. So they took that austerity for Krishna. And this is important. This is what they are expressing, that one should have that eagerness to attain the Lord. They had that eagerness to obtain the Lord. If that eagerness is there, one will be willing to take any amount of austerity for Perumal's sake. If that eagerness is not there in one's life, then one will always carry the attitude of, I'll take it easy for everything. They will not, get that seriousness, right? Nammalvar displayed that eagerness. He literally chased the Lord. He said, take me, take me, take me, take me. This is what Namal was saying. He did not, he was making the Lord, he was himself becoming restless, and he was making the Lord restless. Right? This is the kind of eagerness a Bhagavata displays. That is what they are trying to display here. In fact, it is not the nature of a Bhagavata that they themselves have to go to Paramatma. It is because it's against their Swarupam. It is against the nature of Jiva to actually undertake anything. Right? It is Jiva is just a property of Paramatma. So it is Paramatma who has to come for the Jiva. But by doing any of these activities, what are the gopis trying to do? They are trying to express their eagerness to attain Paramatma, although it is against their Swarupam. So that is what they are trying to show here. Even though it is very early in the morning, they took that austerity for the sake of Paramatma. So one who is serious about Paramatma in one's life, one who is serious about getting that moksham, also displays a similar kind of eagerness to attain the Lord in all the activities that they do. They have the eagerness to manifest the qualities that Krishna described in Bhagavad Gita. They have the eagerness to perform their Varnashrama dharmas. All of this again is not in the mood of, I have to do this. It is because they cannot remain without doing anything, because their love for God is so much that they just want to attain the Lord. So that is the eagerness that they are expressing. Not with the mood that, they have to do them. Not with the mood that if I do this, then Paramatma will be happy. It's because Paramatma stated that these things have to be done for the protection of the world. Paramatma stated that these things have to be done as, dharmas of a certain jiva based on the particular body that they are associated with. Therefore, Paramatma's interest is something that I have a desire to fulfill. Paramatma giving that strength to me, may he make these happen from me. That is the eagerness, that is the desire that Paramatma, that this particular Bhagavata has. That is why great acharyas accomplish so many things. Great acharyas are able to do so many big projects and all these things because they have that desire. Acharyas, some of the acharyas like Bhagavad Ramanuja and so on, there were instances where, 40,000 disciples, 60,000 disciples, a huge number of people at once surrender to these acharyas. How could that even materially happen? Right? The only way that can happen is because they have that desire. The only desire is somehow that Lord should be protected, that they have to do something to please the Lord. Right? It is that eagerness to protect the Veda. It is the eagerness to protect Paramatma. Right? That is the eagerness that they display. This is against their Swarupam, because the Jiva, in fact, is protected. Paramatma is the protector. But Bhagavatas in this mode express that eagerness in that way. Right? So this is what all these Bhagavatas are doing. So therefore they are saying sitram siru kAle. Now what is this? Kala means it is the morning time. Siru kAle means early morning. Early morning means somewhere between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. one can say. It is before the morning time, before the sun rises. Now, Chitram siru kAle means it is the time before that early morning. That means it is the Brahma Muhurta. All the scriptures glorify the power of Brahma Muhurta. There is a reason it is called Brahma Muhurta, because of all the Muhurtas, of all the times in the day, that is the time that is most sattvic in nature. That is the time where one can make the most advancement towards the Lord. So that period of time, spiritual aspirants in general are not willing to lose. So that is the reason why Brahma Muhurta is glorified in all spiritual texts, that is a time when one has to use as much as possible in absorbing themselves in Paramatma, in his Kalyana Gunas, in one way or another. Right? One can engage in Tiruvaradhanam, one can engage in, meditating on Paramatma's Kalyana Gunas, and all our Purvacharyas have done it. Right? That is how they have spent that period of time, Brahma Muhurta. So one has to engage. So that is the meaning here. Now, another way of understanding is, what is this Kala? Kala is indicating a certain change in behavior, right? In other words, What is true Brahma Muhurta for a Jiva? It is the time at which the awakening comes in them that I have to attain Paramatma, right? That is the real Brahma Muhurta for the Jiva. Whichever day that comes, in whichever birth that happens, whichever day that kind of the seriousness, that eagerness comes, from that day onwards, their life will change completely, drastically, right? Till that day, they are always in this, carefree attitude and so on. But that day onwards, that seriousness develops in that particular jiva's case, that they really are so eager to attain Paramatma that manifests in so many ways, right? So now that is what they are trying to talk about. In other words, normal people, when do they wake up? After sunrise is over, everything is over. That means people who are only interested in enjoyments in samsara, they wake up during that time, after sunrise is over, everything, because they have to do something in this world. They are only interested in enjoyments in this world. But people who are eager to at least attain the heavens or something, they are eager to fulfill their varnashrama dharmas. So such people wake up in kAle, that means early morning, the period before the morning, right? Because that is a time at which they have to discharge their duties such as Snanam, Sandhya Vandanam, and all these things. But Chitram kAle refers to spiritual aspirants who are beyond these Varnashrama dharmas. For them, discharging Varnashrama dharmas is not just their limiting factor. For them, absorption in Paramatma is the factor. In fact, they are those, in fact, in the case of many acharyas, we actually see that they barely ever sleep. Many acharyas sleep only for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Sometimes I hear these very odd numbers, right? That unusually odd numbers, right? Because they don't have any attachment towards sleep or anything. They're constantly engaged in Kainkaryam towards Paramatma, absorption in the Kalyana Gunas of Paramatma, that sometimes they sleep very late in the night and sometimes they wake up very early in the morning also, right? Because that's their absorption. That's how they constantly engage themselves. So all of these characteristics are being displayed by Chitram kAle, right? That is showing the seriousness of a spiritual aspirant. What will such a spiritual aspirant do? Vandu unnai sevitru. So before, that means when such a time comes, they display that eagerness in attaining the Lord. And in that process, what do? They try to glorify the Lord. They themselves try to come to the Lord. They themselves try to glorify the Lord. In fact, it gives the Lord pain when someone does this. Because Ramachandra, he was actually feeling bad that Vibhishana had to come. He had to stay in the sky for so long. And here people were doing a lot of analysis of whether this is a good person or a bad person, whether he should be admitted into the Goshti or not, and all of this. Ramachandra was feeling so bad. First of all, it is my duty to pick up my devotees. But this devotee had come all the way to me. But after coming till here, he had been put through so many screenings. So Rama, he was pained when he saw this. Similarly, in the case of Guha, when all Guha did was he came from his own place outside to receive Rama. Just like, if some Acharya comes to our place, we will go to the airport to pick that Acharya and come. That way, Guha had come. Even that Rama could not tolerate. It gave him pain that Guha had to take that effort of coming all the way. Rama felt, I can go all the way till their home. Why should he take that effort? In this way, the nature of Paramatma, in other words, it's not Rama's nature. We are talking about the nature of Paramatma, right? Paramatma's nature is that he doesn't see, it hurts him to see that Jiva is having to put that effort. But then Jivas do that to express their desire, how serious they are to obtain Paramatma. Right? That is why it is told, when we take one step, Paramatma takes 100 steps. In other words, the moment we try to, just like, one example I would like to give. When there is a small child who is trying to lift something heavy, a toddler trying to lift something heavy, immediately the mother or the father, they come running, right? The toddler has a desire to do it, but they know that the toddler cannot do it. So they immediately come running, unable to feel the pain that the toddler is going through. Therefore, they come and help the toddler lift it or do something. This is how Paramatma also feels, right? So now, these Gopikas, they have not only come early in the morning by taking an austerity, but they are also singing praises of his lotus feet, right? Now, this one thing is very, very interesting, right? Praising your lotus feet, right? Praising your golden lotus feet, that is why we have come. That is what they are saying, right? And why they have come, they are trying to tell the reason, right? Now, this particular point is very, very interesting because the Lord's lotus feet are something that is glorified everywhere in the Shastram. Even Thiruppavai, now, how do we know the subject matter of any text? The way we will know subject matter of any text is we have to observe few things, right? What is stated in the introduction, what is stated in the conclusion, what is something that is being repeated throughout. That is how we will know the subject matter of a particular text. This is called Upakrama, Upasamhara, and Abhyasa. In the Upakrama, what did they talk about? Paraman Adipadi, they said, right? We want to sing about the Lord's lotus feet, right? Right in the second Pasuram. Third Pasuram, they talked about Ongi Udagadanda Uttaman Perpadi, right? They also talked about person who lifted his feet so high that he measured with everything, right? So in this way, right in the beginning, they talked about his Adi. Then again, in Andri Ivvudagam Adandai Adipoti, in that Pasuram also, they, very clearly, they talked about Paramatma's lotus feet again and again. Now, towards the end also, here they are saying, Adiye potrum porul kelai, that they want to talk about his Adi again. Adiye potrum, right? They are praising his lotus feet is what they are trying to talk about. In other words, this is the primary motto of the entire scripture. The entire scripture is to praise the lotus feet. It is described in the Bhagavata Purana very beautifully that even the wives of Krishna in Dwaraka, the 16,108 wives of Krishna, they were always absorbed in his lotus feet, right? Yadi api aso parshvagataha. Very beautifully Shuka Maharshi describes that although he is present right next to them, yadi api aso parshvagataha, he is sitting right next to them, and rahogataha, he is sitting alone. So it's not like there are other people also. He's sitting right next to them and he's alone. Husband and wife are alone. Then too, their absorption, tathapi tasya angri yugam navam navam pade pade. In everything they do, they were only attracted to his feet. His feet appeared so attractive that, when women, they observe, some beautiful fresh set of ornaments or something, new designs have come, then they want to see them again and again. It's appearing so attractive, right? Again and again they want to see them. In this way, his lotus feet appeared so attractive again and again. In fact, this is the only thing that was repeatedly being attractive to them, right? So this is how he describes, and he doesn't stop there. He says, of course it is not surprising. Why is it not surprising? Even Shri Chala api na jahati karhichit. That although she, what is the nature of Lakshmi Devi? She is chanchala, right? Chala api, that means even though she doesn't remain at any one place, right? Even na jahati karhichit. At any time she doesn't give up his lotus feet, right? Any other place she doesn't stay. That's why she is called chanchala. Lakshmi doesn't remain at one place for long, or constantly she keeps moving. But there is one place she remains forever. What is that? Lotus feet of the Lord. Right? Just like a bee, it is very restless. It keeps moving all around, buzzing, 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 and so on. Finally, if it lands on a lotus flower, or any flower for that matter, there it will rest without moving. So the Lord's lotus feet are also like that, constantly, tasya angri yugam navam navam. Constantly they have these symptoms of ever growing freshness. They are constantly having something new. They are always appearing newer and newer. That means there is always something more attractive in those feet from the previous time you saw them. So in this way, if we can understand just the lotus feet are like that, and most people, they begin their devotion with the lotus feet, like previously we have discussed, right? Even to be more specific, beginning with the soles under the lotus feet. So now the lotus feet itself are so attractive that, you can't even move beyond those lotus feet. Then we can imagine how beautiful the Lord is, right? So in this way, Sukha Maharshi says, if this is the nature of Lakshmi Devi herself, then tat padat ka virameta, who is going to give up his lotus feet once they have come to them, right? This is the question that, Sukha Maharshi asks. Therefore, it is not surprising that great devotees have sung such songs like Brahma Kadigina Padamu, right? Singing about the lotus feet of the Lord. Adiyan, would you be able to sing?
Harini?
Shall I start, Napina? I'll start.
உங்களுக்கு ஒரு மெசேஜ் அனுப்பிச்சிருக்கேன் பாருங்க ஹரிணி. அது சாட்ல, ஜூம் சாட்.
Oh, chat. Yeah, sorry.
ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಕಡಿಗಿನ ಪಾದಮು బ్రహ్మ కడిగిన పాదము బ్రహ్మముదనని పాదము బ్రహ్మ కడిగిన పాదము
వసుధ గోలిచిన నీ పాదము బలితల మోపిన పాదము తలగక గగనము తన్నిన పాదము తలగక గగనము తన్నిన పాదము బలరి పుగాచిన పాదము బ్రహ్మ కడిగిన పాదము
కామిని పాపము కడిగిన పాదము కామిని పాపము కడిగిన పాదము పాముతల నిడిన పాదము ప్రేమ పుష్టి సతి పిసికెడి పాదము ప్రేమ పుష్టి సతి పిసికెడి పాదము పామిడి తురగపు పాదము బ్రహ్మ కడిగిన పాదము
పరమయోగులకు పరి విధముల వరముసకేడిని పాదము తిరువేంకటగిరి తిరమణి చూపిన తిరువేంకటగిరి తిరమణి చూపిన పరమ పదముని పాదము పరమ పదముని పాదము బ్రహ్మ అడిగిన పాదము బ్రహ్మము తానే నీ పాదము బ్రహ్మ కడిగిన పాదము అడిగిన స్వామి.
Thank you so much, Adi, for singing. This is beautiful kirtanas like this, right? Which are meditation on different things that the Lord's lotus feet have accomplished, right? These are the feet that have measured the entire stretch of the universe. These are the feet that great personalities like Brahma have washed. These are the feet whose waters were adorned on their head by Lord Shiva. These are the feet which have, which have delivered people like Ahalya, right? Who were having a curse upon them. And these are the feet that were something that great yogis, these are the feet that great yogis hold in their hearts. These are the feet that have danced on the heads of Kaliya and have purified Kaliya, right? In this way, this entire song is a beautiful meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord, right? How many things these lotus feet of the Lord have accomplished, right? So, and clearly these are the feet that have graced even Bali, right? And then Bali could do Atma Samarpanam, right? With those feet. So this is the glory of the Lord's lotus feet. So that is what they are singing. Why are they singing the glory of the Lord's lotus feet? Not because they want to get anything out of it, not because they are seeing a benefit out of it. They are singing because they cannot refrain themselves from singing, because the glory of the Lord's lotus feet is everywhere in the scripture, right? This is just a small sampling, right? In one kirtana, right? Now they are saying, Porul Kelai. Now we want to tell you the reason why we are doing all these things. They are saying, listen. Why are they saying listen? Because they want to clarify to Krishna, do you think we are doing this for any purpose? We want to clarify that no, we are not doing this for any purpose. Then they are saying listen. Why are they saying listen? Because Krishna was so absorbed in seeing them. Because how did they come when they came to Krishna? Entire night they spent sleeplessly. So they appeared very tired. Their eyes became very red, right? Sita Devi, at the end of her, time spent in Lanka, how tired she was, how disheveled she was, how weak she became, right? When Paramatma sees this, right? Paramatma, he, Paramatma actually notices how much the jiva has gone through in samsaram, right? By the time they come to them. And at that point, the kind of words that come from such jivas, like for instance, Nammalvar, when Nammalvar sings and all these things, those realizations will be very, very beautiful. Even Annamacharya, right? He sings Antaryami Alasiti. There is another Kirtana, very beautiful Kirtana, right? All this, their speech is so mesmerizing to Paramatma because it is filled with such authentic, such genuine, heartfelt expressions of original, pure, uncontaminated love for Krishna, right? In the last phase of samsaram for that particular jiva, there is a certain tiredness that they are feeling with samsara, that they cannot bear samsara anymore. There is another feeling, overwhelming feeling of separation from Lord that they are feeling. With all of those overwhelming feelings, there is an outpour of devotion that is just pure in nature. It is not contaminated with any material desire. And Paramatma, when he hears that, when he sees the jivas in that state, he becomes dumbstruck seeing the state of the jivas like that. So therefore, apparently Krishna became like that. Therefore, they are saying, are you listening? Are you listening? Please listen. In this way, they are trying to tell, the gopis are trying to tell. Right? Listen what? What should he listen? That the goal is not theirs. The goal is in fact his. So that's what they are trying to clarify next. Petram meitunnum kulattil pirandu. That you have taken birth in the class of cowherds. You have taken birth, first of all, right? Ajayamanaha. The Vedas say that you are someone who has no birth. In other words, there is no reason for him to take birth. But he has not taken birth once. Bahudha vijayate, the Veda itself says. Enrenru yoniyumai pirandai mayo taleva, says Nammalvar. Right? He has taken so many. Enrenru yoniyumai. Not just in one species. All kinds of species he has taken birth. Right? So therefore, even Andal, she says, manamillai, right? In Nachiyar Tirumoli, right? That the meaning is, she says you have no shame that, you have appeared even in such species. But the commentary there says that she is saying that manamille, that means there is no match, upamanamille, right, to you, because nobody else can go to that level to deliver jivas. So you have gone to such a level that you didn't even consider whether that was appropriate for you or not, right? You are so great that there is nobody greater than you. That is what Vedas are saying. But such a great person has gone to such low levels to deliver jiva. So his taking birth is therefore very, very significant. So that is also something that they're doing punasmarana here. They have already meditated on his birth, right, previously in some of the Pasurams. Now again, one more reason they are using to meditate on his birth, that it is, you have taken birth. Why have you taken birth? Now if a person is going on a parachute or something, right, nicely they are going in a parachute and their wallet falls down. What will they do? They have to stop, they have to come down, and they have to come and search for their wallet, right? Paramatma happily is in Vaikuntham. Why is he coming down? Because we are like his lost wallet, right? For our sake, he has to come, right? So it is his nature that he has to come and bring his own lost property back to him. So this is what they are trying to say. Where did you take birth? You have taken birth in the class of people who tend to ignorant cows. What kind of protection he displayed? The protection he displayed was that those cows, they did not, like we already discussed, these cows did not necessarily have so much interest in him, right? They are just ignorant creatures. They are just happy as long as they find some grass, they graze, right? But he tended to them so to such an extent that only after making sure that they are fed, he fed himself, right? Even he ate. So even for such ignorant cows, if you are doing that, then what can we say about you? Why will you not deliver us? Of course you will deliver us. Because those are, you are showing that, sense of protection even on such ignorant creatures who are showing apparently no apparent relationship with you or no apparent interest in you. What to speak of us who are displaying this interest? Then of course you will protect you. That is what we have come to remind you, that it is your responsibility to take us back. Now they are saying, and Paramatma may say, all right, but why do you want to come back? Now they are saying, Ni kuttrevalangalai kollamal pogadu. Now they are saying, We want personal services to you. Personal services means antaranga kainkaryams to Perumal. What is antaranga kainkaryam to Perumal? What is bahiranga kainkaryam to Perumal? Now, Perumal himself, now first, before this, we have to understand, a story, right? There was a certain child, who got angry with his father and he left the house, right? And that child, he roamed here and there. He did not want to go back to his house. And so he stayed in a local motel. And then he asked whether there is food. And the person said, yes, there is food. He ate and he said, I really don't have money. Then he said, okay, all right, don't worry. You eat nicely. He was still suspicious. How is it that this person is actually feeding me? Then he said, is there anything I can do? Can I do some service? He said, no, no, nothing is required. Take rest. You appear very tired. And then he said, okay, is there a room where I can take rest? Then they gave him a room key. He stayed there. Then, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner. In this way, 2, 3 days, they passed. Every day he was getting all meals nicely. He was, just like in the Home Alone movie, that actor, child actor, he keeps watching, something, one thing after another in the TV. He was also nicely experiencing happiness for a few days. Then, just like in that movie, he started becoming anxious. Even here, this child became anxious. How is it that any random person can let me stay in a hotel like this for these many days and I'm not even paying anything? In that case, the child had a credit card with him. So he, created a huge bill for his father. But here, this child has no credit card. But still the motel manager is letting him stay. So he became suspicious that something is wrong. Are they trying to call the cops or something? I should. In this way, he went and asked, why is it that you are letting me stay? You're not even letting me do anything. You're not even letting me do anything. Then that motel manager said, because your father already gave his credit card number to me. Therefore, I'm letting you stay. Because your father already anticipated that you will come here. And if you come here, your father told me not to tell you immediately because you already went in anger. So if I tell you immediately, you will run away even from here. Your father did not want that to happen. So therefore, he told me to keep that secret for as long as I can. And he asked me to let you stay and, so that you don't suffer. This is the nature of Paramatma. When Jiva gets separated from Paramatma, Paramatma has to take so many forms, right? Sometimes all these forms are like mask. For instance, if there is a small toddler, right, and the toddler is angry with the mother, then the mother might try to, change his mood by wearing some other mask. Then the child is ignorant, thinking that this is a different creature, and he starts eating again. Right? He is in that level where he doesn't understand it's the same mother who is putting on that mask. He'll think that this is a different thing. Right? Once that anger goes away, then the purpose of mask is not necessary. Purpose of mask is also over. The mask can be removed. The mother can show her true form. Right? That mask is necessary only as long as that, there is a tension that remains between the child and the parent. Right? Similarly, even in this case, the motel manager, he was a certain kind of mask. Right? The father made sure that that arrangement is made because the child was not willing to face the father. Therefore, this arrangement is made. Similarly, Paramatma also, sometimes people ask, why in Hinduism there are so many devatas and all these things? This is the reason. Because of that eternal tension between Jiva and Paramatma, Paramatma does not directly show himself. Because the Jiva has a problem with Paramatma. So that problem has to go away. He himself has to come to the realization that it is because of that Paramatma's grace, all these devatas are actually giving me. It is because of that Paramatma's grace, not just devatas, even people in this world are giving me. Right? We think sometimes someone who is materialistically absorbed, they think that, my friends and family are so nice. Everybody is there to take care of. Nobody is taking care of us. Everybody is taking care of us because Paramatma is showing that grace on us. If Paramatma's grace is not there on us, not one person in this world will come to our rescue. Right? This we have always repeatedly seen in all the past times. Gajendra Moksham is the famous example. Gajendra was filled with all friends and relatives around. Not one person came to the rescue. Why? At that point, they did not get that inspiration. Paramatma has to give that inspiration. At that point, Paramatma decided to give that time for Gajendra to think, who is the true protector? Are all these people the true protector or Paramatma the true protector? Right? And Gajendra, he thought and he came to the right conclusion. And he prayed to that original protector. right? So this is what has to happen. So here too, the gopis are saying the bahiranga kainkaryams are, so-called dharmas in this world are always directed towards each other and so on. First, we have to do these dharmas. We have to do dharmas towards, this Sandhya Vandanam, and all these dharmas are apparently, Surya Antaryami Paramatma. And in this way, we have to do. These are all bahiranga kainkaryams. They are not directly facing Paramatma and doing direct kainkaryams to Paramatma. Now they are saying that we are fed up doing all these things, doing so-called outside dharmas, and again meditating that you are the Antaryami in them, therefore this is an offering to you. Why to eat like this instead of eating directly like this? So we want to do Antaranga Kainkaryam to you. We want to do direct services to you. Now our tension with you is over. We have come to you finally out of love. We don't have any other external desire. All we want is you. Engage in the Antaranga Kainkaryam of you. That means personal services to you. We want to feed you. We want to do arati of you. We want to press your feet. We want to dress you. This is how we want to be engaged in you, right? We don't want to be engaged in something else and indirectly meditate on you. We want to be engaged directly on you and meditate on you. That is easier. Now, all of that, therefore, in this world, all those dharmas exist because he is trying to engage us indirectly. Directly or indirectly, mama vartma anuvartante manushyaha partha sarvashaha, he says in Bhagavad Gita, right? According to certain commentaries, the understanding there is that everybody has to eventually submit to him. Whether you like it and submit, indirectly submit, or directly submit, you have to submit to him, right? This we have seen the other day also, right? No matter how they are, he will make them submit to him. So instead of indirectly submitting, now we have directly come to you. So directly we want to submit to you. Directly we want to serve you. So engage us directly in that service. Do not decline us, right? This is what they are saying. You are the master. We are your servants. So it is our natural thing to work towards you. If there is a part that is defective and the machine is not working, once you get the part repaired and you place it back in the machine, the entire machine works very nicely, right? So we have given up that resistance. We have been repaired already. Now you place that part back in you so that now it will work holistically in union with your will, right? This is what they are expressing here. Now, we have already come to the phase where we feel Vasudeva Sarvamiti. For us, everything is you. In Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabhaha. Right? He says that Bahunam Janmanamante, after many, many births, finally one comes to the conclusion that Vasudeva Sarvamiti. For me, everything is Vasudeva. He is my Dharakam, he is my Poshkam, he is my Bhogyam. So Mahatma Sudurlabhaha, Krishna says, such a great soul is very, very rare, he says. Because for Krishna, to find such a one soul, he has to take so many avatars. And he might find one such soul for an entire avataram. Entire Krishna avataram he spent to search for one such soul. Entire Rama avatara he spent to search for one such soul. In this way, any avataram he takes, he tries to search for one such jiva who has that kind of feeling that everything is you for me. I really don't want anything else, right? That is the real thing. Now, they are saying that we have already come to that level where you are our Dharakam, you are our Poshakam, you are our Bhogyam, you are everything for us, right? You got us to that phase, and now how can you leave us like this, Paramatma? How can you just behave as if you don't know who we are? And why do you want to show this coldness towards us? Right? So please accept us. You've already removed taste for everything else except Kainkaryam to you. You brought us to that phase. Now please accept us and engage us in your personal services. Kollamal Poga, please do not decline. It's not appropriate for you to do that right now. Ittrai Parai Kolvan, Andragan Govinda. Now they are expressly saying, Krishna, we don't want to be indirect. We want to be very direct and straightforward. We have not come for any Parai, right? Sometimes, women, they have this nature of speaking indirectly. They'll ask, I want that thing. And the husband has to figure out what that means, right? Similarly, here also the gopis are saying, Parai. Parai means now one has to speculate what is the Parai they are asking for. So now they themselves are saying, so far we have kept it indirect because we wanted to hide the true thing from everybody else. So now we are being very direct because we have come to you. Now we have no fear of anybody. So far, we had to gather so many people. At any point, any of our parents can come, and if we say we are going for Krishna, that is whom we really want, they can stop us. But now we have come to you. Now you are going to protect us, and we have full faith that you will protect us. So now there is no more fear. We are declaring that you are what we want. You are what we want, right? You are who we want, right? So therefore, they are using the word Govinda. Why are they saying Govinda? It is very interesting if you observe. 3 times they have used this word Govinda. First time they used it Kudarai Vellum Seer Govinda. Why did they use the word Govinda there? There they are saying he is the Upayam, right? They're saying Govinda is out of gratitude that those who do not want to join him, by displaying his auspicious attributes and attracting them, he makes them come and join him. So that means he is the means for coming towards him. That is what they are expressing using the word Govinda there. Okay? That he is the means for coming towards him, right? For people who have turned away from him. Okay, he alone has to bring them to him. That is first Govinda. Second Govinda is Kurai Ondrum Illada Govinda in the previous Pasuram. Right? There, why did they say? There they are saying that what kind of Upayam is he? He is Kurai Ondrum Illada Govinda. He is such an Upayam that there is not even one deficiency in him. Yesterday we have seen that other Upayams, they have certain deficiencies with them. Other kinds of Punyams, they have deficiencies with them. Right? But Paramatma is that kind of punyam where there is no deficiency in him. He is always complete. There is nothing that stops him. What are the deficiencies with other punyams? Other punyams are always dependent on some person for doing them. And that punyam is always limited in the sense that this much punyam is there, it can only give you this much result. Right? That is the other limitation. They are sapeksha. Right? And then the other thing is, these punyams also have another challenge with them in the sense that if there is a papam that is more powerful than this punyam, then until that papam is over, this punyam cannot manifest its result. But these kinds of deficiencies are not there for him. There is nothing that can stop him. So therefore, he is a person who is deficiency free, right? So that is the kind of upayam you are. First they said Govinda because you are the upayam. Second, they are saying you are not any ordinary upayam. You are that kind of upayam who is deficiency free. Third time they are saying there is nothing else except you that we desire. Therefore, Ittre Paregolvan Andragan Govinda. Here they are saying that you are the only prapyam for us. You are the upayam for us. That is what they are trying to declare here. Now, he may behave as if he doesn't understand why they are calling Govinda, because Govinda has many meanings, right? Go Shabda has so many meanings. Go means earth. He who has given pleasure to the earth by protecting it is Govinda. So Govinda can refer to Varaha Avataram. Right? Go means also earth. So he who has actually protected the earth. He protected the earth by earth was taken, land was taken away by Bali and so on. Rakshasas have taken it away. He protected it by giving it back to the Devatas. So it could refer to Vamana Avatara also. It can also refer to Krishna Avatara, because even in Krishna Avatara, Bhudevi came and prayed to Brahma, and they all went and prayed to Krishna, saying that so many demoniac kings have at once taken birth. You please reduce the burden of the earth. That's when he came down as Krishna, right, to reduce the burden of the earth. So it can mean anything. Go also means cows. So he who gave pleasure to the cows by protecting them is Govinda. Go also means senses. He who gives pleasure to the senses is also Govinda. Go also means Vedas. He who has protected the Vedas and given pleasure to the Vedas is Govinda. It can refer to Hayagriva Swami. It can refer to Hamsavataram also. So in this way, it can refer to any avataram. So Krishna may be wondering, I don't know why you are calling. So they are very explicit here in saying, it is you who is the protector. You have protected the Gopikas, everybody. You have come for our protection. So therefore, we are asking you directly. We want you. That is what they are trying to say. Now Krishna says, okay, I have understood. Your desire is to, have my service for today, because they said, today, we haven't, just for today, right? So therefore they are saying, no, this is not just for today. Etraikum yelel piravikkum. They are saying forever and ever, for birth after birth, for 7 births, right? It is you who we are seeking that person, right? In other words, it should be forever. That means there shouldn't be any breaks. If we have to take births, then there is going to be break. Why? In old age, we cannot serve him properly. There might be limitation of our senses where we cannot serve him properly. Then there is a period of death. Then there is a period of being in mother womb. Then there is a period of, toddler's inability to do anything. Then there is a period of ignorance where they cannot do anything. So in this way, there are so many breaks. So that means we want birthlessness. That is when, without any breaks, we can continuously serve you. So you have to give us the world of no births. Is that what we are looking for? That means Krishna may say, okay, then all you want is Paramapadam. Okay, I'll give that. Then they are saying, no, we don't want Paramapadam if you are not there. We are ready to even take birth again and again if you are willing to take birth. If you come as Krishna and you place us in Paramapadam, what is the use? We want to be where you are. If you are coming as Rama, we want to come there. If you are coming as Krishna, we want to come there. If you are coming as Vamana, we want to come with you. If you are coming as Nrsimha, we want to come with you. Because how is Lakshmi Devi? Is she remaining there? Whenever he is descending, she is also descending, right? In Rama Avataram, she descended as Sita Devi. In Krishna Avatara, she descended again, right? As Rukmini. In every Avataram, she is descending. So then, if she is not descending, Adisesha also, is he remaining without you? Their nature is such that at one point, Lakshmana also, he was not willing to wear, if he, in the palace too, he was serving Rama continuously. In the forest too, he was serving Rama continuously. One time in the forest, Rama asked Lakshmana, come here. Lakshmana came. Then he said, Lakshmana, will you be willing to go back to the house? See, our mother is all alone there. Someone needs to take care of her in all these things. Then Lakshmana asked, Rama, are you intelligent? I thought you were intelligent. Rama said, why are you asking like that? Lakshmana said, do you know if a fish can survive out of water? How long will it survive? He asked. No, it cannot survive. Then he said, if a fish cannot survive, how do you think I can survive without you? Right? In this way, he said. In other words, he is someone who cannot bear that separation from Ramachandra. So that is the kind of birth that we want, even if we take birth. They are meditating on people like Dasaratha, could not bear separation from Rama, he passed away. Right? People like the Gopis, they were unable to bear separation from Krishna. Right? Similarly, Lakshmana, he was unable to bear separation from Rama. Right? People, love of Yashoda is what they were asking for. Right? Even if they take birth, they should have the love of Yashoda. That Yashoda's love was such that, when Krishna, when he was swallowed by Kaliya, immediately she fainted because she thought he is consumed. That's it. She couldn't even bear that news. Right? That is the kind of devotion we want to have. Right? When Krishna ate something, she was worried that he wouldn't digest it. Everybody else was complaining that, he's eating too much, He's worried that something may happen to him. In this way, our love should be towards you in such a way that we cannot, forget you or remain separate from you even for a moment. That is the kind of relationship we want with you. It shouldn't be any kind of relationship. It should be a relationship where we are aware of every one of these relationships with you. Even one relationship, if we forget with you, our fear is that that relationship may go away from us. So we want to experience all kinds of relationships with you. That is what we want from you, right? Just like Sita Devi got, just like Devaki Devi got, just like Gopikas got, Dasharatha, Kausalya, the citizens of Ayodhya and so on, how were they all? Yes, tvaya saha saswargaha, nirayo yes tvaya vina. This is what Sita Devi said. For us, Paramapadam or Swargam is not, wherever you are, that is Swargam. That is Paramapadam for us. So wherever you want, that is what, wherever you take birth, that is what we want. In this way, the Gopis are asking. In other words, they are not trying to aspire for a Paramapadam that is devoid of Narayana. It is not that he's ever devoid, right? Paramapadam is ever devoid of Paramatma, right? That is not the point. The point that they are trying to express is, we don't want a very great place if that is devoid of you. It is not the place we are looking for or the pleasure associated with the place that we are looking for. We are looking for you. If you are there, that is our pleasure. If relationship with you is there, that is the source of our life. If we are able to do service to you, then that is what is food for us. In this way, they are trying to feel and express to Paramatma. Unakke naam achevom. For you alone, we want to perform all kinds of services. Right? We don't want to do any kainkaryams that are, against you, against your desire. We don't want to do something and call it kainkaryam. We want to do what you want us to do in a way that you choose. We don't want to do anything against your wish. We should always engage in such kainkaryams to you. This is what they are trying to. And that kainkaryams also, how should we do? You should make us do for your sake, and you should experience the pleasure associated with it. It's not that I am doing something for my happiness. Matrainam kamangal matru. If there is any other desire other than this, you please remove such desires from our heart. When Nrsimha, he appeared in front of Prahlada, and Prahlada pacified him with a lot of prayers, and Nrsimha Swami, he finally became pacified. At that point, Nrsimha Swami said, it is the nature of Devatas that if we appear in front of someone, we cannot go without giving any boons. So Prahlada, please ask for a boon. What is it that you want? You have pleased me so much that I am willing to give you boons. Then Prahlada said, my dear Lord, thank you for asking this, but you are my master. I am your servant. Aham tu akama swadbhaktaha. Right? I am a devotee of you who has no kama. Tvamcha Swami Anapashrayaha. You are also my master. Our relationship is such that you are the master and I am your servant. And this is eternal between us. Right? Raja Sevakayo. Just like a king and his servant, this relationship is there between us. And this is eternal between us. There is no other relationship between us. If a servant tries to desire something from the master for the service that he rendered, then he is saying, Nasa Bhrutyaha Savai Vanik. He is saying he is not a servant, he is a businessman. This is what Prahlada is saying. So just because I serve you, if I desire something from you in exchange, then I am a businessman. That is not our relationship. Our relationship is that you are my master, I am your servant. I have to serve you without any conditions, without any desires. Right. So in this way, one has to. So therefore, what is my desire? You asked me, Yadi dasyasi me kama. In case you want to bless me with something, yes, you have asked, no. So then Narasimha Swami is saying, I know. Initially they'll say all these things. Finally they'll ask whatever they want to ask. Then he said, yes, I have a desire too. Then he said, yes, tell me what is the desire. He said, let there be no desire in my heart. This is the desire he asked. So this is who Prahlada was. So in this way, Gopikas are also expressing the same mood here, that we don't want to have any independent desires. Our only desire should be that we want to be with you and serve you always for your happiness. Now, this world is such that it can influence us any day. Any kind of desire may come into our heart. So this is what we should constantly pray. In fact, that is the reason why they say, if we don't have time, ideally one should recite all 30 pasurams every day. If one doesn't have time, at least this pasuram one should recite. This and the next pasuram, right? 29 and 30th pasuram, right? At least few lines of these pasurams we should recite. That time is also not there. At least we should remember that our alvars and acharyas have always, not acharyas, all our purvacharyas, including Ramanuja, they have constantly meditated on these meanings of these pasurams every day. At least that much we should remember every day, right? That because these pasurams and the prayer that she is asking, these are very, very powerful, because clearly we are seeing that Thiruppavai is the essence of all scriptures, the essence of all kinds of devotees' moods, right? That is what Gopikas are capturing, Andal is capturing here, right? So it is not something that is, randomly composed by a young girl in just conjugal love of Paramatma. It is actually deep Vedanta secrets that are being expressed in the form of Thiruppavai. Right? So therefore, now what they are asking for is, they are not even desiring Paramapadam, they are actually desiring him. Right? And now, while doing service to Paramatma also, sometimes the beauty of Paramatma can be a distraction for us. So they are saying, even that beauty, may that not be a distraction for us. So even that kind of desire, if it is there while serving you, you please subdue it, so that we are fully able to serve you with our full heart without getting distracted. Right? While doing service to you, sometimes our enjoyment of that service may hinder our service. If there's something we like to do, we enjoy a lot. In that enjoyment, we may forget doing it properly, right? So our enjoyment of that service should also not be a hindrance. So if such a thing is there, you remove that too. We should be able to do your service in a very pure way, in an uncontaminated way, right? Krishna, it is said that he accepted even the peels of banana that Vidura gave. For as long as Vidura thought that, he didn't even realize what he was feeding Krishna. The moment it came to Vidura's realization that he was, feeding Paramatma peels, immediately Paramatma said, enough, I'm full now. Because he wanted that pure, uncontaminated devotion, focus on him. That is what he enjoys. He really is not looking for our, our bananas or apples or fruits or sweets or anything. He is looking for our love. We are who he wants. He is looking for our heart. Is our heart on him or not? Right? Even if we can give 1 minute to him, he says, Udaraha, such a person is Udaraha. They gave time to me. Out of 24 hours, they gave 1 minute to me. He is happy. It's not sarcastic. He's not being sarcastic. He actually says, if there is someone who gives him time, he is actually grateful for such people. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Udara, such people are Udaraha. Because instead of going somewhere, they came to me. That is sufficient for me. Even if they are materialistic, that's all right. They have come to me. He says, Kshipram bhavate dharmatma. Very soon they are going to become very good devotees. Don't worry. Right? In this way, he is saying. So in this way, in this particular pasuram, Gopikas are beautifully expressing so many things to Paramatma. That what are they trying to express? That the time has come in our life where this awakening has come in us, right? Because this awakening has come in us, we are not able to contain ourselves. We have this eagerness to attain you. In that eagerness to attain you, we are forgetting when our own nature that it is you who has to come and protect us, but we ourselves are coming to you, right? So therefore, how are we coming? We cannot even remain without glorifying you. So it is your glories that we are singing along, right? And among all such glories, it is the glories of your lotus feet that are most recorded throughout the scripture. So that is what we are singing today. But it is you that we are absorbed on. Then they are saying, you please listen to the reason why we came. And he's asking, I know you have all come for Parai. They are saying, no, we have in fact not come for anything. It is you who have actually appeared here. You have appeared in the form of cowherds because on that pretext you want to protect people. Not just people, you want to protect even ignorant creatures. If you have someone who have come here to even protect ignorant creatures who have no interest in you, will you not protect us who have such interest in you, who are eager to attain you? This is what they are praying. Now they are saying that what do we really want? We want that personal association with you. We want internal services too. We are done with this samsara. We are done with indirect services to you. We want direct services to you. We want direct relationship with you. That relationship shouldn't be such that we keep burdening you and we keep enjoying. It should be such a relationship where we want to serve you constantly, and that service should also be such that it should be uninterrupted in nature. So we want that relationship with you birth after birth. Even if you are willing to, wherever you are, that is what we want. We are not looking for some Paramapadam somewhere or some other world somewhere. Wherever you are, that is what we want. We want to constantly live with you. We want to constantly absorb in you. And we want to constantly do Sarvavidha Kainkaryams to you. Right? While doing those Kainkaryams too, if there are some kinds of material things that pop up, even spiritual things, right? Spiritual things is, Lord's own beauty. Like Shatrughna, the reason he was called Shatrughna is because Bharata at least served Ramachandra, Lakshmana served Ramachandra, but Shatrughna never, there is no direct service of Shatrughna to Ramachandra. Then what is the Shatrus that he has conquered which gave him the title Shatrughna? Because although Rama was so beautiful that Ramo Rama iti prajanam abhavan katha, constantly everybody in Ayodhya was singing about Rama, but Shatrughna was able to control that feeling and engage in the servants of Rama's devotees. Bharata. Shatrughna was always engaged in Bharata's Kainkaryam. Directly he was not engaged in Rama's Kainkaryam. So therefore Shatrughna is Nitya Shatrughna. This is how Valmiki says, Shatrughna Nitya Shatrughna. Throughout Ramayana, he has been able to subdue those feelings. So even Rama's glories and Rama's Saundaryam and all the wonderful qualities of Rama, everybody else was absorbed in that. But Shatrughna, he was able to subdue all of those and engage in the servant's service of the servants of Rama, right? So in this way, our relationship with you should not be such that any of your qualities, we get into that enjoyment mood and then we forget service to you or to your Bhagavatas. So we should be such that, we are most useful to you in every sense, right? This is the, beautiful prayer that they are seeking from Paramatma, that we should all meditate upon all the time, right? There is, in the previous Pasuram and this Pasuram, there are 4 things that are told, right? Nivrutti of 4 kinds of virodhis is told. Upaya virodhi, right? They have declined, karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti or prapatti and all these things as upayam, and they have admitted that he alone is the upayam, right? And then prapti virodhi. In other words, there are certain things that prevent us from attaining him. That is our own papams. So yesterday's Pasuram, we have seen that they claimed forgiveness from Paramatma for all kinds of aparadhams that they must have committed, right? That we have seen. So yesterday's Pasuram covered Upaya Virodhi Nivrutti and Prapti Virodhi Nivrutti. Now today's Pasuram covers Swarupa Virodhi Nivrutti and Prapya Virodhi Nivrutti. So Swarupa Virodhi Nivrutti is, they have explored their own nature. Their own nature is not someone who has taste for other kinds of things. Their own nature, true nature of them, right, is actually having a taste for the Lord and an eagerness for the Lord. That is their Swarupa. That they have explored in this Pasuram. Prapya Virodhi is also having no other desires except service to him, right? Always looking for his enjoyment and not for our enjoyment. That is the other thing that they have explored in this particular Pasuram. Okay, this Pasuram also explains the meaning of Tirumantram, that we will skip for today. With this, we will try to conclude. Andal Emperumanar Jiyar Tiruvagale Sharanam. Jai Srimanarayan. We'll see if anybody has anything that they want to share for today.
Jai Shrimanarayana Swami, very wonderful Pasuram. Like you said, I really wish Prahlad Maharaj, helps remove the desires also, materialistic desires from people like me, because it's so hard to live without materialistic desires. My husband, if he was in the call, he would have vouched for my Amazon packages. So, so this was a very good takeaway, Swami. One question, in general, I have been having this question for a while, and I know today you talked about the feet of Perumal, like how we should meditate on it. So I've heard from some other upanyasam that when we do the mantram, we should always meditate on the Lord. In your mind, you should have Lord, and then you meditate on Him using the mantram. But uh, as very beginner or not as a qualified devotee, I struggle with understanding like how you meditate on the wonderful form of the Lord. Meaning, I can meditate on the feet, or I can meditate on, say, Krishna's flute, or the beautiful peacock feather he has. There are a lot of things, right, in the form of the Lord itself. Is there any best practice, Swami? Like, because you told about the divine feet of the Lord, I was thinking like, oh, should I just remove this confusion and meditate on the feet alone?
A very beautiful question, Ramyaji. So, yes, there is definitely a procedure that Purvacharyas have given, right? So, first thing is when we are trying to meditate, right, our mind keeps roaming here and there. So, first we have to conquer that phase. So, wherever our mind goes, let's say our mind, goes to, let's say I have to order this thing from Amazon. I'm just taking that example. Please don't get me wrong, right? And it goes like that. Immediately we can think, okay, so I want to order something from Amazon. Let's say, whatever some random thing comes. Let's say I want to get a bag from Amazon, something like that. Then till that point we forgot about Perumal. Now suddenly we have to remember, oh, I'm doing Japam right now. I'm meditating on Paramatma right now. So therefore, okay, instead of buying these kinds of objects, I should buy objects for Perumal. Right? That way, even using Amazon, I can buy something from Perumal. Otherwise, now Perumal has inspired me to purchase this bag. With this bag, what kind of kainkariam should I do to Perumal? Maybe I should carry something for him. Right? In this way, wherever we are, yato yato nischarati manas chanchalam asthiram tatas tatas niyam yaitad atmanyeva vasham nayet, Krishna says. Right? Wherever the mind goes, from there we have to bring it back. Right? So that is the first meditation. That means we have to practice, like in one of the previous classes, Srinivas Garu asked, how to meditate on Paramatma all the time. In everything we can meditate on Paramatma, right? Right from the time we wake up, right? We can wake up thinking that, yes, Paramatma wants me to wake up today and, do so many duties. So I can't be lying like this. So I have to wake up. And then I have to take bath nicely. I have to brush myself and I have to clean myself because but that hygiene that I display is good for me, maintaining my body and for everybody around, so that Paramatma is pleased, because I cannot come in front of Perumal like this in an ugly way. So for his sake, let me take bath nicely, let me dress nicely, let me decorate myself nicely and present myself to Perumal. Right? Now, after presenting myself to Perumal, we may go and do our activities. While doing our activities, we can think that, yes, all these activities have to be done for Perumal's sake. Right? I can slack at my work completely, but that won't make Krishna happy. Right? If I do my duties properly, that is what pleases Krishna. So because this is my office time, I have to focus on doing my office work. So therefore, I'll focus on that. So in this way, in the initial phases, one can meditate on every aspect and connect it to Krishna. That is the first phase. After some time, like even while meditating, if our mind goes to some bazaar, some shop, somewhere, from there we have to bring it back to Krishna. So that is phase one. Assuming we have crossed phase one, our mind is a little more stable now. Right? Now we are able to focus on a particular object. Then our Purvacharyas say, we cannot at once meditate on the entire form of the Lord. We have to begin with some organ. So therefore, we have to start with his feet. That is the ideal way. Starting from the feet, we have to meditate on every part of his body. Or if we are not able to do that, that's also okay. We can meditate on just his eyes. right? His eyes are described in the scriptures as containing, they are like lotus petals. They have the compassion, right? That compassion of the Lord is something we can meditate upon while meditating upon his eyes, right? His color is something we can meditate upon. His ornaments are all divine ornaments. This is something we can meditate upon. His beauty is described to be unsurpassable beauty, right? This is something we can meditate upon. In this way, we have to focus on one aspect so that our mind can grab it. Instead of diffusing it, we have to concentrate it. We have to focus it, right? Gradually, once our mind is able to attain dharana of a certain object, dharana means it's able to constantly meditate on it, that it flashes us all in front of us all the time. Then we can move that meditation to another part of his form, right? In this way, once the mind is able to achieve that dharana on all the different parts of Lord's form, then we can focus on the entire form at once, right? That's when Paramatma's form remains in our mind. But before that, like I said, we have to focus on doing our duties, because to get to that phase it requires Paramatma's grace. Because what made Krishna get captured in the hands of Yashoda Devi, because she had that, he saw her effort, right? That is why he himself got bound. In this way, Paramatma will get bound when we display that effort, right? To somehow we have to display that eagerness, like coming back to today's Pasuram, that eagerness to somehow bind him in our hearts, we have to display. Then at a point where he is pleased, he himself will get bound. At that moment, his meditation will be so natural to us.
Wonderful, Swami. Thank you. Dasam, Swami.
Das. Anybody else wants to share anything? Ask any questions?
Again, Swami, sorry, I thought when you finished, like you mentioned, it's Tirumantram, right? But I thought it's like Dvayamaha Mantram, right? The Chittanjana Kale Pasuram is equivalent to Dvayamaha Mantram.
But even Tirumantram, it is said like, when they're saying unak, right? That is akara. Unakke means the ukara is being told. Then yam again is makara. So om
Okay.
being explored here. When they're talking about all relationships, then they're talking about Narayana. Narayana is the tattva which has all kinds of relationships with all, Narayana Mayanaha, right? So that is by saying this constant, we want that Kainkaryam bittu all the time. They're exploring the meaning of Aya, the Chaturthi Vibhakti.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So in this way, again, like Tirumantram also, but of course, Dvayamantram is an elaboration on Tirumantram. So naturally,
Yeah. Adin, Swami.
Adiyan.
So in Mumukshupadi, the last shlok, this last one in the Tirumantram says this, Aga Tirumantrathal Emberumanukke Uriyenanan எனக்கு உரியனன்னிக்கே ஒழிய வேண்டும் சர்வசேஷியான நாராயணனுக்கே எல்லா அடிமைகளும் செய்ய பெறுவேனாக வேணும் என்றதாயிற்று. So it is,
same meaning that is being explored here, right? You are trying to share Napnesh.
Yeah, Swami. Yeah, the sutram. That is the word I was trying to say. The last sutram in that Tirumantra Prakaranam.
Yes.
Swami. And also in the last sutram in the Dvaya Prakaranam also says that the Virodhi Swarupam also you should be the one, you are the one who should also kill the Virodhi Swarupam in us. Or something it says
I don't remember right now.
yeah. I forgot that sutram, Swami. Shameful of me to do that, but yeah, it's it just came to me, and I was focusing on Harini's words, and I completely forgot what I was going to say. Sorry about that. Yeah, it does say that even our Virodhi Swarupam, you are the one who has to. We are not capable of taking away our Virodhi Swarupam. You are the one who has to take it away, and it seems in Pillai sorry, Manavada Mamunigal, Swami Manavada Mamunigal's Vyakyanam, he says not only us have Virodhi, even the Nitya Suris in Shiva Vaikuntham also has Virodhi. So they constantly, who will believe this, right, Swami? So they are the ones who according to us, they don't have any virodhi, they swarupam, they're just totally fine. But it seems they also have the virodhi swarupam, even though they are constantly with Emberuman. So they also will say the same prayers like, please take away our virodhi every single day, it seems. Bogame marundagum or something like that. So it's just going to haunt me the entire night.
No, please share in the group once you are able to locate it.
Thank you, Napinai, and sorry for making you.
No. I was focusing intensely on your words and I completely forgot.
Harinichi, anything else you want to share? You didn't share anything today.
No, Dean, I mean, I was listening to you. We just entered home I picked up Achyutan, and I just entered home. And when you said like Tirumantram, I thought like I was reading Sadago. I mean, maybe at some other day I will tell you like where I found this script. I was reading this Vyakyanam of one Sri Sadagopan Mama. So I remember him saying, reading that this elaborates on Dvaya Mahamantram also. The first step, the first part of Dvaya Mahamantram is the first 4 lines, and then the second part of the Dvaya Mantram is the second 4 line. When she says, Unakena Machivam and all those things like Machenam Kamangal Matra, that is the second part of Dvayam. I mean, I don't know if I can say the Dvayam out loud, so that's why I'm saying.
No. That's the reason why I didn't even want to talk about how it is related to Tirumantram.
Yeah, I mean, so he has written that thing in detail, how the first 4 lines are equal to the first part of Dvaya Mantram, and how the second 4 lines are equal to the second part of Dvaya Mantram. So that's why I thought, okay, maybe, I mean, with the little knowledge I have, like I sometimes I get confused. Like Napini said, when I start, and also when, like how Ramya Adin said, I start focusing on something else and then I leave. I forget to forget where I started. Like when you go to YouTube and then it gives you all the suggestion, right? So I start searching for something. I start searching about like Velukudis Naichalu Sandanam, but I end up watching a trailer for the upcoming movie. So like,
Swami,
like that.
I think I remembered that Marinde Nangal Boga Magalchikku Enna Ninnadire. So that is what is Harini. It is like Marinde Nangal Boga Magalchikku Enna Ninnadire. Boga Magalchi is like, looking at Perumal and getting engrossed at his happiness. But Marinde Nangal Boga Magalchikku Enna Ninnadire. It's like you are the Marinde, you are the medicine for our Virodhi Swarupam Tosat. That is the Saram of Dvaya Mahamantram by, I mean, that is in the Vyakyanam of Swami Manavada Mamunigal. So according to Manavada Mamunigal's Vyakyanam, the Sutram is the last Sutram, 169. Yeah, I think it is the 179th Sutram. Is Marande Nangal Boga Magalchikku Enna Ninnadire, so which is the Saram of Dvaya Mahamantram. And Pranava, that mantram is Agan Tirumantratal Embermanikke Uriyananana. So I think both of them are covered, I feel like in Chittanjaragale,
Both
right?
are covered. Yes, both are covered.
Yes. And also, since this is a Sharanagati Pasuram, like all like Tirumantram Dvayam, I mean Charama Shlokam, like I mean, I don't know how to connect the Charama Shlokam with this, but like Ahandal is doing Sharanagati in this.
But
Pasuram.
sort of in the previous Pasuram, I feel that is more connected to Charama Shlokam because giving up all upayams and catching him.
Yeah. So thanks, Napinai. Thank you, Napinai, and thank you, Swami, for clearing this out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll conclude if nobody else has anything that they want to ask.
Okay, Adi. Jai Srimanarayanali.
Okay.
Harini, I didn't clear any doubts. I just pointed it out.
No problem.
Adiyan.
Thank you for sharing. Adiyan.
Adiyan, Swami.